What's happening, people? This is Rohit here, and in this podcast episode, I'm going to discuss my game plan at Rutgers University and what I followed as an international grad student. And in this episode, I'm going to talk about Rutgers University Newark. So, let's get started. Super excited. I'm talking about something which just ended for me. The educational journey just ended as a graduate student, but then now I get to relive all those experiences, so it's like bittersweet at the same time. So it's gonna be fun. I can feel that, and for me, it's more like therapeutic as well. So first, I spent 4 semesters as a grad student. I could have done it in 3 or 2, but then the point is to focus and know what's actually required. Jobs, so many different factors are there. So it's going to divide it into 4 semesters and how it all started. And if it's Camden, again 2 more. But in this episode, I'm going to focus on Newark. Already, so first semester I'm new here. I already missed all my orientation, so many things. I'm going to make a separate episode about that, what all happened, why I missed, what all those logistics and procedure which unfortunately did not. And that's because of missing all those things. That's why my life turned out to be the way it was at Rutgers. But either way, let's get started. First semester, I'm new here. I'm trying to understand how things work, every single thing. So for me, my game plan was, what, friends, not so much. I did not think so much, because if I had there for orientation, I had been there, that would have been a lot of different scenario. My whole game plan would have been different. But my game plan was kind of simple. Throughout Rutgers, it was more like, what, popularity, fame, all that will come as on its own. For me, it was all about being consistent in what I was doing, like show up every single event and at least get to know. It's not even like you have to follow this like a schedule, but get to know who are all there in the power, know what's the hierarchy at Rutgers University, know who are all there in academics, and know all those inside out information which you don't exactly. It's more like latent, hidden curriculum kind of thing which nobody actually talks about, right? So for me, it was important for me to know all those things in my first semester. First semester was also of understanding how things work at Rutgers University and every single thing, and my own method of every single thing was quite different, very unorthodox, very unconventional, very out of the norm kind of behavior and logistics of what I did. But overall, I'm very satisfied with what I did in my first semester. I got to know and understand everything, how things work. And you know what, or random day, I have attended like 7+ events on a random day, and I think that's like record, because from 1 p.m. till 8 p.m. I was attending one by one event. I was like, after a Christian, yeah, association event, it's more like Muslim association event, and then Thanksgiving, so many events. I made separate videos about that as well. But overall, it actually taught me how associations work, how every single thing works, who are all there involved, like so many different things which you don't exactly are taught at orientation. That's what I got to know. And that was my first semester. Yes, what all, outside of campus, so many different things, social life, all that was missing, absent. But I was compensating. All of Rutgers was my social life in a lot of different ways. So first semester, get to know every single thing, and then that was the main objective for the first semester. Second semester, the game plan was simple. Right now, first semester, you got to know how things work. Now you get to explore and try to build connections, and as well as, like, try to not exactly dominate, but then, push yourself more. But in the second semester, again, it was my first time for the spring semester, so I'm getting to know the events, how things work. But by then, the people and the staff member in first semester itself, within 1 month, within 1.5, yeah, 1 month itself, actually a lot of staff members knew me, because I was being consistent at all the events. I'm like, you know what, I'm not waiting for company and all that nonsense. I'm just going wherever it's needed, and whatever it is, I'll go alone, right? So for me, with that mentality, that's what I did in the first semester. That curiosity was what was driving me, and that was the main thing. But and because that curiosity is one word where I can describe my whole of first semester. You know what, what's there in this building, what's there in that building. I did not have any orientation. So for me, it's all about exploring and getting to know what things are, how things work, what organization. So I had to go to each building. For me, it's more like, what, I'm going to each building, I'm exploring. I'm like, oh yeah. But in the second semester, the one word to describe the whole semester, it's exploration. For me, it's more like, whatever you're done, now put yourself more out there. And that's something which I carried out successfully throughout the second semester. And at the same time, in academic life was also booming and going well, because in first semester itself, I got research assistant positions. In second semester also, I was getting that, and that was definitely one of really good successful semesters. And in first semester, the kind of connections that I made, they were all graduating this semester in the spring semester, so definitely did not get so much time to spend with them. And I was also in, that spring semester just started, weather changes, so many different things were happening in my life as well. So, and that's the new year started, right? So 2023 new year just started, so for me it's more like year started. So I was also in different mindset in first semester, all those feelings keeping uh, circulating within me. That's another separate mental health episode. But apart from the second semester, new year started, what all things didn't work in the first semester, I'm trying to experiment, explore. It's more like, like casual dating kind of mindset came in for me. It's more like, what, meet, talk to people in general. I'm not talking in terms of relationship per se. It's about in general, in being consistent with number of people that I'm talking to on a regular basis on campus, getting to know how every single thing works. That was the main thing. And then summer, as usual, work. That's more like a quiet period. I did not have any game plan. And then fall semester, actually things kind of shifted, because in the beginning, I got to know that this is going to be my last academic year, so I was taking every single day at a time. And then it was more like, first semester curiosity, second semester exploration, third semester it was more like settle down, settlement kind of game plan for me. Because for me, what, I'm reliving the same things again, and I can actually compare and say, what, first semester so and so things happens, and then third semester it's the same fall semester again. So different things also happened during spring, because there was strike, so many, and because of that again it's like ripple reactions, here and there, cost cutting, funding, so many things are there, right? That's more like institutional, where say I am nobody to talk about that. But I can actually say, because the in fall semester I kept saying, last fall semester we had so many more events, the 7 8 events that I attended in one day, that's not happening, this is not happening, a lot more people are not there outside. So I could figure out so many differences in that sector. But at the same time, in personal life there are so many other things happening, so I was focusing on that as well. But for me it was more like, in terms of course, I was taking less courses and I was putting more out there. I was also holding a lot of positions as well during all this time from spring till this fall. I wanted so some things that didn't happen. So between me and university there was a bit of a tough kind of, there was a bit of a rift kind of thing. That was fall for me. And when fall was ending, whenever I say fall is ending, fall starts during August September time, fall ends during December time, which also means end of the year. Spring starts, that's a new semester, new year, as well as the new weather. So many different miscellaneous factors are there, right? So all of these come into account when I'm talking about game plan. Third semester, as I said, it's about settlement, trying to, what all we want to do, we did it, let's take one day at a time and enjoy that way. And then when spring starts again, it's a new year, new semester, and then weather, so many again, all those factors. But by now, actually the spring of 2024 was probably the happiest I've been. Another semester also I was happy in my own way, but at the same time, so many, because of the personal factors, because in spring of 2023 I started therapy, so I completed 1 year in therapy with the same therapist. So when spring 2024 started, the new year, so many different mindset changes. But I actually understood that, what, this is my last semester of my educational journey at Rutgers University, education journey itself. So it was more like taking one day at a time. Once again, that was there, but it was not about settlement, it's about keeping it on par, at the same time balancing mental health. So many different things were happening, I was exploring, I got new job, so many different roles. And by this time I held over like 15, I when I try to count the number of roles I held on campus, I can say 12 plus or 15 roles. And but by then I became so comfortable with the kind of roles that I held. For me it was more like, a good leader is also, I judge a good leader based on how they are also willing to lead others and make sure that, it's more like passing of the torch. And that's what was happening in spring of 2024 semester. I was taking a step back so that the freshers can step in and I can guide them whenever and wherever it's needed. So that was my game plan. So in that way I was having so many different things happening, and I was recording a lot of vlogs as well. So for me, content creation was another big part for me. And I think that was a very good planning on my sense, because my academic life, job search, every single thing mingled into one. So I was very happy. For me it was more like new change for me. I was working as part of IT, I left that. Again, so many things which I wanted in fall that didn't work out. But then when spring started, it was more like, this last semester, let's just have fun. And that's exactly what the game plan was, just have fun. And why I am saying all of this game plan, why it's all important, see, as an international grad student, I'm new here, all of those factors are there. At the same time, I missed orientation, so many other factors which were exactly not in my control. So when you realize I did not have like a stable friendship or any friends during my course of Rutgers life. So every single thing that I had to do was on my own. Every single thing which I had was more like professional relationship. There's no nepotism, nobody was there to help me, so every single thing I had to figure out. So it was, it's not like I wrote in the beginning of semester, this is what the game plan is going to be, this is what, but unconsciously that's what happened. Unconsciously, first semester, yes, I knew that curiosity, yes, I have to explore. That mindset was already there. At the same time, when the last semester started, for me it was already like, you know what, take a step back, just explore, just have fun. Last week of college, have fun. Last day of college, have fun. That kind of mindset was there. And it's also important to have this game plan to understand and see. It's more like goal, it's about the process. I'm focusing on the process, I'm focusing on the journey. That's more important than the end goal, which is graduation, which is obviously now I am sitting here as alumni. At the same time, when you think about it, it's the process of what each one takes, it's the priorities of each one, and that's what matters most in a way, and that's what mattered more even for me. But because my friend circle was not there, because Rutgers was my only social life, I had to think a very different way and what all I wanted to do at Rutgers. If I attended orientation, if I attended and did so many different things, if life played a very different way, I would not have done the game plan that I have done. Definitely, I'm very proud. At the same time, I can say that I could have done so many more things. All the that things are also there at the back of my head. But overall, it's very important to have a game plan as a student or as an international student or as a grad student of what you want to do, what your priorities are, and if you're clear about it, I think life is kind of easy as a university student. So that's how I think about it. But overall, I'm very grateful for the kind of journey that I've had. And for me, it's more like journaling is also happening in the other sector. So I'm writing all of this, what I'm talking about as well. So overall, I'm happy, and I think it was pretty good gameplay in my opinion. Yeah, thank you all for watching. See you all in another one. Till then, bye from me.